Here's a different review, and one you really can't hear. So it's all talkie-talkie for this one. The Kali Audio LP-6 V2 or second wave studio monitors. It's a good 73% nerdy stuff, and it's coming right up. So, good day and welcome to the Time Preservation Society. I'm Dewey Finn. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can be notified the minute new content drops. Cheers. So, you may have noticed in my last video, the cheap $50 mic one, that I had a new pair of studio monitors behind me. If you did notice, then good for you. You're very observant or whatever. Those new monitors are still behind me. But that's not how anyone should use them. That would be an incorrect placement of a stereo set of monitors. You should have them in front of you, so make note of that. The Kali Audio LP-6 monitors are widely talked about in the audio world. The reason is twofold. One, they sound fantastic, and two, they're wicked cheap when compared to similar quality monitors out there. These are two-way, bi-amped, 80-watt, highly accurate studio monitors that takes butt, along with kicking names. Kali Audio is a new company that immediately began making waves in the audio community, and before long, the customers who bought their products sounded off. The combination of low price and high quality was music to their ears. They all knew these monitors were a sound investment, and this set the tone for how this company was going to be received by the world. Personally, I had heard that these near fields were good, and I monitored the speakers as they presented their cases. Their online reviews seemed rather amplified. They were making noise. Eventually, I heard them loud and clear, and I bought them. I could do this all day long. Kali Audio began in 2018, which was Aquaman and Deadpool 2 ago. 5 veterans of JBL combined their knowledge and experience to launch a new company with the goal of building products from an engineering standpoint with fewer compromises and at an affordable price. But are they actually affordable, or is this term affordable once again based on the bank accounts of rich people who tell everyone else they're poor? Perhaps the answer lies somewhere in this video. Perhaps. The first generation of LP-6 studio monitors, along with their LP-8s, were the first two flagship products. The LP stands for Lone Pine, which to those not in the know, me, seemed like wood from pine trees was used to make these speakers. No. Lone Pine is actually a small town in Inyo County, California, with a population of around 1,500 people. In fact, every Kali Audio product model is named after a city or town in California. I suppose that's why they called themselves Kali Audio. But that's just a hunch. While the first version of the LP-6s were highly regarded, they had one infamous flaw. They were a bit noisy. The sound was stellar, but it had a running hiss that bothered some users. Kali Audio listened to their clients and their own monitors and immediately went to work on building a second version with much quieter amps. Enter the Kali Audio LP-6 Second Wave. This is the version 2 of the famed LP-6s, where they've addressed that issue entirely and upgraded a few more things under the hood. The Kali Audio LP-6 Second Wave monitors use a 3D imaging waveguide that allows you to hear stereo in 3 dimensions. They also use a dual-layer voice coil that allows for low distortion and high dynamic range. They also feature a precisely engineered low-noise port tube for powerful bass without port noise. And let me tell you, you can feel some rumble without a sub. But these monitors are designed not to flatter sounds, but to accurately represent them. Whatever is present in your mix is exactly what you'll hear on the monitors. Nothing is artificially boosted or attenuated to sound more pleasing. These things are the most accurate for the price. It'll represent accurate bass down to 39 Hz and highs up to 25 kHz, with less than 3% total harmonic distortion. That's really good. Let's have a look at them. There is a white version and a black version. I've opted for the white version because my wife says they look great and later told me they remind her of stormtroopers. The front of the LP-6 V2s are a familiar design. The tweeter at the top, the 6.5-inch woofer underneath, and a sleekly designed port at the bottom just above the Kali Audio logo. There's a blue power indicator LED light between the tweeter and the woofer. The second version of the LP-6s have a matte look to the paper woofer speakers, unlike the more glossy first version. The bottom and sides are unremarkable as one would expect, but the back has all the goodies. At the top, you've got a diagram showing all the possible scenarios for where your new monitors might be placed. Depending on your own monitor placement, you would then toggle several dip switches that correspond to your own setup. The instructions have a much more thorough explanation for this feature, but basically the LP-6s each have a digital signal processor inside that can process for compensations for rooms and surfaces and reflections. There are 8 dip switches in total. The first 3 control the boundary EQ settings that we just talked about. Switch 4 and 5 control the low frequency trim, and switches 6 and 7 control the high frequency trim. These are like high and low pass filters that reduce the lows or highs by about 2 decibels. And the final switch is a turn on the RCA input that we see here. The RCA input is switched off by default to prevent any signal interference when not in use. Then we see a 1/4-inch TRS input, that's a balanced 1/4-inch input, and then the choice of an XLR input, which is nice. Then we have the power cable input, which has an internal switch mode power supply, so no need to worry about where you are in the world. And then we have the power switch, which has a function that I hope I don't have to explain. Each LP-6 weighs just over 16 pounds and is made of MDF and wrapped in vinyl. The white ones are made out of Stormtrooper. It measures, hold on a second, let me just try to find my trusty old measuring tape here. You know, this measuring tape was developed by 3 aspiring rock musicians named Chaz, Pip, and Rex, better known as the Lone Rangers. I picked it up at an LA radio station in '94. Anyway, it measures about 14 inches high, almost 9 inches wide, and 10 inches deep each. They're bigger than they look on camera. And those are your Kali Audio LP-6 second wave studio monitors. Well, I can't very well let you hear them or do any tests that would translate well on YouTube, so you're just going to have to take my word for it. I guess that means it's time for analysis. I bought these. They weren't sent to me by Kali Audio or anything like that. And as usual, before I buy something, I do a tremendous amount of research into all kinds of gear. And I've got more than 30 years of buying experience behind that research, including all the mistakes I've made. And I'll research for weeks or months or sometimes years before pulling the trigger on something that I want or think I want. So I tend to buy good stuff, and that's why my channel features so many glowing reviews. And that may, of course, change as more companies send me stuff to review, but I have also so far been selectively choosing the companies that I contact in order to get gear. So we will see in the future how my product reviews turn out. Anyway, as I've been hearing so much about these monitors, I decided to give them a shot. I have a deal with one of the companies I buy through, and I could send them back if they sucked, but not before giving my honest opinions of them first. Sometimes I want junk and then review it just so I can have some negative junk on my channel. But these definitely weren't that. In this case, they won't be going back. They're very impressive. I have a little basement studio at this point in my life. I don't own a larger recording studio that sees clients or anything like that. I record and edit and send stuff off, or I mix my own music these days, or I do these videos. But I've worked in many big studios, and I heard and worked with plenty of high-end monitors. These guys are up there. Maybe not as great as some higher-priced monitors, but they're the best I've heard at this low of a price. I was using KRK Rocket 5 3rd gens for a lot of years here in my home studio, and they were very popular at the time. But I started noticing distortion in the high end, and then finally my right monitor was cutting in and out intermittently. More and more, I was depending on headphones to edit and mix. It was time. Anyway, The LP-6s can also be used for immersive audio. Kali Audio has full systems for that. You can build an entire Atmos studio starting at around $3,000. And as you may have heard, immersive audio is the way of the future. But these monitors sound great. They sound better than I had hoped. You can hear everything. I even watched a few awesome movies on these guys, and the 3D immersion with just 2 monitors in stereo was seriously impressive. And the low end is quite there. I fully recommend the Kali Audio LP-6 second wave monitors, fully. They sound like $1,000 monitors, or even higher. So, at the beginning of this video, I asked if these monitors were really affordable, by real human people standards. And you're about to find out. You can get your very own LP-6 monitors for only $199 each. That's it. So yes, I'd say these are affordable. That's around the same price as a KRK Rocket, but infinitely better. And they look better too. Look at those guys. I'm looking at them in my little monitor here. These little guys here. These are so. Look at these. But I'm about to make these Kalis sound infinitely better myself. I'm about to replace all the cabling, even the power cables, with Vermouth second-born cables, and see how good I can make these sound. The V2 cables are the future of clean audio, and I'm here for it. But that's another video altogether, which will be coming up in the next few weeks, I hope. So that's all I got for you this week. The Kali Audio LP-6's V2 Wave 2 will test your head and your mind and your brain too. Bye now. In transmission. Watch these ones. That one and that one. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.